Tonight's Goat Show will showcase Berrien County's first ever breeding ewe doe show. Tonight's exhibitors will take home prizes to help them further their projects courtesy of pilgrims. Grand Champion will take home Sullivan's Cadillac stand, Reserve will take home a show box, and third overall will get a set of Andy's Clippers, and fourth overall will get a show stand. We hope this will help these students continue their projects into the goat show. This time we'll have the goat showmanship. Are they in here? Are they all coming in together? So we just have one, and two?
Yes, but I guess they're all coming in together. I'm not sure.
Also, make your way back to the back. The concession stand is open. They have all the goodies you could want. I can smell it from here. We want to welcome to this year's show our judge, Will Meadows hails from the southeast corner of Alabama, where he was raised on a diverse seed stock and commercial cattle operation. Will and his family prioritize the raising and selling of 2-year-old seed stock bulls, marketing those at 3 annual sales across the southeast. Through his time in high school, Will was very active in both showing cattle as well as judging livestock, competing in events across the country. After high school, Meadows attended Fort Scott Community College in Kansas, where he studied agribusiness as well as competed on a competitive livestock judging team. After his time at Fort Scott, Will furthered his studies back home in Alabama at Auburn University. Will has judged shows across the country as well as in both Alaska and Hawaii, and is excited to be here in Berrien County sorting the show here this evening. Give a warm welcome to Will Meadows. One in the first two. Our junior showmanship is Weston Souza. Weston is in the second grade.
Well, guys, great way to go ahead and get started with Mr. Weston right here. Does an awesome job coming in with this really nice made dough right here. I like the way he answers the questions, that I ask him. And I think, guys, in showmanship, especially for me, guys, I like to try to ask that question. I want to hear how those kids talk, how they answer the question in terms of, hey, what's this goat? What do you feed it? What are you doing with your life? What do you plan on doing outside of high school? Weston doesn't know just yet, but he's a well-rounded young man. Plays several sports. He says he likes showing these goats better than he does hogs because they tend to listen a little better, and I can probably agree with that. So give a big round of applause to Weston right here, and I sure think a good way to go ahead and get started here tonight.
Next will be our intermediate showman. That participant is Adrian Knight.
Well, now the good one coming in here, right here in the intermediate showmanship. Another well-rounded young lady that gets out here and kind of knows the things to do on this one. Asked her what she'd like to change about this female here, and she said maybe get this one to walk a little better. And I think we're all like that on some days. But I still think a real nice presentation once she gets there from the side as she finally gets that one planted. She knows where to get that one. That one's feet on all four corners to set down and braces that one really extremely nice. I think one that maybe is just not giving her the most, the best partnership here tonight. But I surely think she does a nice job. Comes out with a great attitude, a big smile, and you can sure appreciate that when you're in my shoes. So hats off to her, and give her a big round of applause.
Thank you.
I did forget. I'm sorry.
Margot's going to get some meat and I'll take the whole game at the end of the night.
It's not bad.
Okay.
We're going to try that, and I'll let you do it.
All right, sounds good. Entering the ring at this time is our senior showmanship. These participants are Savannah Campbell and Alyssa Knight.
Yeah, I think a lot of talent right here between these two young ladies in the senior division. And I started with the young lady up front with the black shirt. Guys, I think one that just maybe does things a shade smoother. I like her cadence around the ring. I like when she gets that one brace. That thing is flexing oh so good up on the top side of the skeleton for me. She's quick and fast to answer those questions. And I like how, in terms of just her style as she goes around, it's probably more my speed in terms of the scope she'll hear. You'll lead her right behind her, nothing to take away from her. I like when she gets that one presented. I like her style as she goes around. Maybe just not quite as smooth or quick enough for me in terms of getting that one braced at times, but still does an awesome job right there, especially around in there in the second. Two good ones right here. Let's go ahead and give these two young ladies a big round of applause.
Yeah.
We will now bring our goat participants back in for the breeding doe goat classes. These participants are Alyssa Knight, Savannah Campbell, Adrian Knight, and Weston Souza. These goats will be weighing in between 100 and 120 pounds.
Take it.
So I do a lot in terms of muscle. You know, I grow out bulls, and we had a bull sale just this past Saturday. I also work on a lot of big clubby steers, and so I like a lot of muscle. I like a lot of stoutness as well in terms of what I feature. I also like that to kind of be translated through the females that I judge too as well, especially here when we get into these goats right here. Aside of the young lady up front with the blue shirt on, guys, I think one that just meets kind of a combination for me. She's big, she's bold, she sits down so square at the ground. I like the big feet she's got on her. You step in behind her, she's got such a big stout pin set, lowers that down throughout her twist. And I like the big, huge back she's got on her too. Sure, she might be maybe just a shader coarser there out of her front end, but man, you kind of like that on those, especially when you're trying to make some of these clubbier type doughs and such like that, when you're kind of trying to get these for those clubby shows and such. One coming right behind her, I think just a big, dense type female there as well. A huge back on that one. I like the pin set of her. Yeah, sure, I'd like to pick her up out of that pin set of shape. But man, she's so big there out of her lower quarter and down through out of that twist. I just think a good kind of put together dough there coming in second. And then two right here, yeah, you can kind of like these from the style there from the side, but I think two that need to be coordinated a shade better there out of their hip, especially on the top side there out of their pin set. I think one right here, when you put that one into motion, she looks like a lady when she goes. She's so tucked up in her chest. I like her there on the top side of her skeleton, especially how she barrels back down throughout that center rib. Put her in motion, she's sound, she's flexible, she gets out and goes. But I'd like to maybe give her a shade more quarter, put her together to shade better there out of her pin set. And I got her out of the class. One is super flat there out of her quarter, but one again that's super, super cool there out of her front end. Like how flat-shouldered and tucked up in her chest she is, but still maybe a shade green here for me today. I think I'm all set for right here. Let's give these four contestants a big round of applause.
The results for the 2025 Doe Goat class. First place is Savannah Campbell, followed by Weston Souza. Third place is Alyssa Knight, and Adrian Knight is fourth place. Again, we want to thank the sponsors for the prizes for the Goat Showman, Pilgrims and Michael Corbin.
Okay, perfect.
We'll now be getting ready for the showmanship. While we're preparing for that, I'd just like to take a moment and recognize and thank our sponsors. The platinum sponsors are 2WL Farms, Four Corners Gin, Aikens Petroleum, Doug and Vanessa Alley, the Bank of Alapahaw, Atlas Greenhouses, Berrien County Board of Commissioners, Bryan Poultry Farm, Cat Creek Livestock, Chaparral Boats, Creek Cattle, the Stalvies, D&D Irrigation, Dixon Farm Supply, Dixon Gin, Dixon Seed and Chemical, Drop Tine Unlimited, Farm Bureau, Berrien County, the Farmers and Merchants Bank, Gaskin's Groceries, Greenpoint Ag, Lane Air Farming, Laster Tractor, Lennox Peanut, Magnolia House Furniture, Morrison Hardware and Building Supply, Nashville Feed and Seed, Pilgrim's Pride, Quality Growers Peanut and Gin, RBJ Farms, Shiloh Pecan, Southern Farm Supply, Towson Cold Storage, Tucker's Service Station, Turner County Livestock, Vickers Farms, and Watson's Pools and Patio. The gold sponsors for 2025 are Ag Aviators, Brian Sumner Insurance, the Howard Center, Jernigan Farm Service and Supply, Lee Farm Supply, Levin Funeral Home, Ranch Feed, Rick's Body Shop, Schools Welding and Repair, Sheriff Ray Paulk, and the Staines family. Our silver sponsors this year are Ageless Creations, Barry's Deli, Buck's Auto Repair, Curtis Packing Company, Giggles Cafe, Hometown Pharmacy, Irwin County Farm Bureau, Parish Land Clearing, Rayleigh Farms, State Farm Insurance and Lee Stallings, and Donna Walker. The bronze sponsors are Arts of Fire, Brown Farms, Doug Gaskins, your magistrate judge, KJ Feed Supply, Melissa Taylor, Century Dorsey, our clerk of court, Shauna Hughes, and the big store. Be sure when you see these sponsors out and about, make sure to tell them thank you. Give them a round of applause.
dinner tomorrow night or not?
Be sure to come back out tomorrow evening for the buyer's dinner starting at 6 o'clock,
Across the way? Over at the next building?
just across the way at the, and then be here for the sale for sure at 7. Judge Meadows will be back momentarily. He's taking just a few moments to be sure we get all the pictures we need with the goat showman. It's time we'll be welcoming our junior beef showmanship. There's 2 heats of these. This first heat will be 4th graders. That's Hudson Brogdon, Colt Harper, Altman Stalvey and Carly Stalvey.
I'm going to keep it kind of brief on this class right here, especially since we're going to have 2 heats of these juniors. And I will tell you what, with the 2 up front kind of walking in, as a judge, that kind of really gets your heart thumping and your blood boiling especially. I think 2 youngsters that walk out here that just want it and want it really bad. I think Tit for Tat do an awesome job of getting these 2 females stuck. They're very knowledgeable on those females right there and what they're planning on doing with those in the future and where they're at right now in terms of that feeding. And I really like the presentation on these 2. And the 2 young men right here do a nice sound job right here. Young man in the back says this is his first time, and I can surely appreciate him being out here. He's wanting to learn, he's wanting to get out here, and I think for a first timer does a heck of a job. He said his favorite thing to do so far is watch these things, and when you put your hands on that steer right, man, we had a great mic system. Super clean right there on that calf, so I think it does an awesome job so far, and you keep up that good work. I think for me, I'm going to bring back these 2 right here and see what they look like with the other 2 in that drive.
I don't. Contestants in the heat number 2 for the junior showmen are Jay Staines and Metz Stalvey.
You know, I think another really nice pair of young men right here that come out for this first heat of these, or these second heat of these juniors here. I think two really nice showmen, I think, in terms of is there, especially in terms of what their animals are, how they feed them, what they feed them, and how they maybe like to tweak or change these guys here if they had that chance to do so. Excited to see them bring this skill set back out here for the other two that I've got from that first heat. But let's go ahead and give them the round of applause they more than deserve.
We gotta get it hooked up.
We'll be bringing back the three
How many you bringing back? 3? 4?
Altman Stalvey, Carly Stalvey, Jay Staines, and Mick Stalvey for the junior showmanship.
Okay, I'm gonna put it to you like this. This is one of the most intense groups I've seen, and you heard my bio, you've heard where I've judged and where I've been, and I do this quite often, but this right here is second to none in terms of these top three. I wish I had a fourth spot for the young man in the white hat on the end. You know, guys, I'll put it to you this way on this young man up front. I felt like I was talking to an 80-year-old guy at the cell barn in terms of his knowledge on that one. And I'm not trying to be funny there. He told me what he feeds that thing. He told me how he wants to change it in terms of the style of this female. He likes where she's at, how he's going to breed her. And he just had every bit of cadence to him around the ring. I think for him and the young lady right behind him, I think, man, they came in that first class. And like I said, they wanted every bit of it. But the young man right there just kind of blows you away in terms of the answers he gives you, how he delivers it. He's so confident, he's so clean and crisp in terms of how he speaks to you and in terms of the knowledge he has. Hats off to the parents, the grandparents on that young man there and the teachers that are helping him, because he has got a lot of wisdom right there, especially in this breed of this female, and how he surely does. Yeah, good claps for him right there. I think, man, you put the young lady right behind him. I think at times, you know, you could probably push her maybe a shade higher in terms of the presentation she's got. She's super smooth. She's super cool around the ring. And I surely like it just in terms of that cadence. I like the way she gets that thing set up. Maybe just freshen up just a shade on those questions. Wasn't quite hitting it quite as sharp or as quick as the young man right behind her. I think that was really the split on those two there. The young man coming in a third, I like his answers. I like in terms of how he's going to maybe change that steer, what he'd like to tweak on him at times. But maybe at times we weren't quite as cognizant down low on those feet and legs. Maybe just freshen up just a shade there, get that thing set just a bit quicker. And I think you're definitely kind of giving those two front a run for your money. Guys, I'd second to none right here. These are some good showmen right here. If your juniors are like this, I can't wait to see your intermediate and your seniors. Let's give all these youngsters a big round of applause.
Third place for the junior showman is Mitch Stalvey. Second place is Arlie Stalvey.
What?
And your champion junior showman is Altman Stalvey. Give him another round of applause. Yes. Your intermediate beef showman participants are J.C. McMillan, Kendall Harper, and Allie Staines.
I think another really nice 70s showman here, especially here in this intermediate division. I think three wonderful young ladies here that, are all different, but all have a lot of these similar characteristics in terms of a good showman right here. I decided to kind of go ahead and start with the young lady up front with the paisley shirt and this black female here. I think one that is very detail-oriented. She's smart, she's quick to answer those questions, and I surely like in terms of that presentation when that female kind of works with her on that front left foot especially. I think one that really gets kind of presented at a high level. I like how she's fast and accurate in terms of answering those questions. She's always got her eyes on me, and man, does she make a killer look in terms of getting that female set up very quickly. Young lady coming in right behind her. I think a young lady that comes in here and she never takes her eye off you. And as a judge, man, we surely like that. And I like especially how she's intentional in the way she answers. She knows kind of about this animal, knows what she's feeding, she knows all these things, knows what she'd like to change. But I think surely a young lady is very oriented in terms of this market value of these show cattle, but also just in the breeding animal world as well. Young lady coming in the third right here, one that maybe just not quite as quick at times to get this one set up, one that maybe kind of struggles a shade in terms of getting that head up, but I think another young lady that's sharp, she's accurate in terms of those questions that I step in and ask her, but maybe just kind of get them set up, maybe just a shade quicker. But I think a really nice one kind of coming in here in the third. Let's give all three of these a big round of applause.
The results for your intermediate showmen are: third place is Allie Staines, second place is J.C. McMillan, and your intermediate showman champion is Kendall Harper. Seniors, give them another round of applause. Your senior showmen are 10th through 12th graders, and these participants are Emily Griffin, Anna Luke, Abigail Griffin, John Haven Stalvey, and Ellie Taylor. Be sure to make your way back to the concession stand. We're quite confident they got a bottle of ketchup back there. Jennifer and Catherine Williams are over by the door. Be sure to stop by and get your raffle tickets. Drawing will be tomorrow evening.
Okay, so my ring help here told me, he said, good luck when this class came in. And I dang sure needed it for sure. And I told you there at the start in terms of these junior showmen, I said, I'm excited to see what's come next. And I guess this was the next part right here, because I think there's 5 elite showmen out here, especially in this senior division. Sadly, I only got 3 spots right here to fill. And I'm going to tell you kind of why and how I fill those spots and who I do it with. I think, guys, in terms of finding that champion, we're in the senior division right here. I want to see some style. I want to see some presence. I want to see some presentation. I want you to get out here and tell me how you're going to change this ag industry when you get out of high school, how you're going to impact the world in terms of what you do next. A young lady in here is going to do nursing after this. How are you going to impact the world after that? I want to hear your goals. I want to hear your dreams and your aspirations to how you're going to do that. And I think one that just kind of went ahead and kind of just wrote the picture for me. He painted that picture for me in terms of how you're going to do that, in terms of the presentation here. Is a young man up front with this black and white steer. He'll be a grand champion showman right here today. I think well-deserving in terms of that presentation. Does an awesome job there. I mean, every time you turn around, he's got that thing stuck. He makes him look good. And boy, does he sure kind of answer those questions, especially. He's confident, he's well-spoken, and does an awesome job. He goes ahead and walks off with it for me and does it pretty quickly. I think when I turn back around and I look, okay, who's going to follow that mold? Who answers those questions right? Who makes this calf look well presented is a young lady right here with this black female. And I think another one that, man, she does a nice job, and that female works with her. She's getting the shade worked up here on the wall, especially there in that corner. But guys, she can get that one stuck so good. She makes it look good. And boy, does she sure have that cadence when she's walking around the ring that, man, you can really like as a showmanship judge. You see her sticker there. Does an awesome job. Well-spoken as well. Hats off to that young lady there coming in second. I think 3 steers right here that maybe kind of work these ladies a bit. I think it's kind of tough. You want to walk out here. You want to win champion showman in your county. I remember doing that as a kid. There was this one girl I could never beat. And I finally started trying harder at the house. And I was really wanting to win. And boy, we get there to the show, and my steer wanted to act up. So hats off to you 3 right here for staying with it. I think a young lady that really just kind of blew me away in terms of how she answered those questions, in terms of how she handled herself, she carried herself. I think that's the biggest thing for me out here in showmanship is truly carrying yourself, no matter what's going on. It's a young lady right here with this gray steer. I think does an awesome job in terms of that. For you 2 right here, ladies, I wish I had a couple more spots left, but decided I don't have for 3. So guys and gals in the audience, let's give all these youngsters a big round of applause. Hats off to them as well.
Your results for 2025 senior showmen are: 3rd place is Abigail Griffin. 2nd place is Ellie Taylor, and your grand champion senior showman for 2025 is John Haven Stalvey.
Going straight to the heifers. Straight onto the heifers.
We'll now be entering the heifer show. Class 1 will be 2 heifers shown by Altman Stalvey and John Haven Stalvey. These heifers weigh between 782 pounds and 852 pounds.
I think this is a rather exciting way to go ahead and get started with the female show here. And guys, I'll tell you, man, that one up front, man, she's got that head held on the third story there. Man, she's so cool there out of her front end. She's flat shoulders. She's tucked up real nice and neat there in that chest. Shoulders back, she looks like a lady up front, but shoulders back, man, and she's sure showing that kind of that punch that she's got there to the center portion of her body. I like how level and neat she is there in her lines, but you know, I'm a bull guy at heart. I'm a seed stock guy at heart, and this one reads kind of that there at the ground. She's so soft-footed there on those rear too. I like how deep she is there out of her heel, and how soft and neat she plants out on all four corners. I think if you really get kind of picky on that one, maybe just lay that one's tail head back just a shade, and she wants to pick that one up just a shade higher than I'd maybe like. But I'd still think a really nice, ultra-feminine type female coming there in her first. You know, young lady, or the female coming in right in second. I think a cool blaze up front. She's another one that's just as cowy and good looking there, the center portion of her body. I like the bone work she sits there at the ground. I like that bigger bone she has there on all fours. I think one that's super stout, and she's cool there out of her hip and pin set. I think it just in terms of one, I'd maybe like to just sit that one down just a shade softer there at the ground. Maybe make her a bit more comfortable there on those rear two at times as she wants to sit there on the front side of the toe. But I think a good two right there to go ahead and get us started.
The results for Class 1 is first place, John Haven Stalvey, followed by Altman Stalvey in second place. The exhibitors in class number 2 are John Haven Stalvey and Ellie Taylor. These heifers weigh between 1,000 and 1,090 pounds.
I was just confirming. So I'm just making sure.
I think another fun pair right here, and you know, as a guy, you could choose one or the other. I just think this one right here with that real soggy, sappy middle right there, that man, she sure packs a punch at that lower rib. You want to talk about some feet and legs on this one too. Guys, she'll turn and she'll go and she'll reach out of that front end. Like how just sound and flexible she is there out of that front end, reaching and grabbing for more. But just sure how pliable she is there out of her spine. And how she sits down right there, as you can see her there, how just deep and soft she is there in that heel. One you can surely appreciate from just a, looks like a lady, but boy, does she sure put a lot together. I think the one running right into second, she's maybe just a shade more neater up front in terms of that flatter shoulder and maybe just that tighter chest in her. But I think one right here that just gets a shade more tubular in terms of that rib cage. She gets a bit flatter on the top side of that cage as well when you compare her back to the one right ahead of her. But I think one you pull and pry that one apart just a shade more. I think she goes ahead and kind of contests that winner just a shade higher. But I think a really nice one coming there in a second as well.
Results for class number 2. First place is Ellie Taylor, and John Haven Stalvey is your second place. Class number 3 will be entering the ring at this time. These exhibitors are Colt Harper and Kendall Harper. These heifers weigh between 1,165 pounds and 1,225 pounds.
You know, I think this one right here is another one you can kind of choose your poison on as well. And I sided the young man with the red female right here. And man, I tell you one that is just surely put together. She's just about as sound and square as you could make one. She's got a ton of middle. She's good right there behind her shoulder. Whereas I could probably change that one right behind her. I like how just much punch and power she's got there to the center portion of her body. But I think in this pair right here, guys, she reaches, she gets out and goes. But man, she is super pliable there out of her spine. I love her out of her hip and pin set, especially on the top side of that hip. Super cowy, super good looking. I think that one's going to do that young man a lot of good when you put her out in the pasture and get on breeding on that one. One right behind her, guys, man, she's super youthful up front. I love how high-toned she is there about her head and neck. She's super feminine and classy there out of her face and ear set, and shoulders super flat, but I think shoulders back. Maybe like to tweak her just a hair. Give her a shade more right there behind the shoulder. Man, she's super good and cowy and has a ton of rib, especially there that lower turn. Sits down good, but I think where I want to change this one a bit, she gets a bit tighter there out of her loin, a bit tighter there to the center portion of her back. Maybe just kind of loosen that one up a shade. When that one gets out and goes, make her a shade more pliable at times. As she just gets a bit tighter spine for me here today. But I surely think a good one coming there in a second.
The results for Class 3 are first place is Colt Harper, and Kendall Harper is your second place exhibitor. Class number 4 will be coming into the ring at this time. This exhibitor is Carly Stalvey.
I think on a single entry here, guys, one that's showing some age in terms of some of her features, but surely kind of has a little chest, but it's still tucked up enough for me there. I like the femininity. I like the look up front, but I surely like that big sweeping rib right behind her. She's leveling her line. She's good there out of her hip and pin set, and I surely think one that puts a big, nice, sound foot there at the ground. She gets out and goes, and I think one that's going to throw this young lady, I know it's her good calf there at side, but in terms of that bag she's going to have on her and the teeth set there as well, I think it's going to be a good milking one for that young lady as well. Good looking one, but I think one that's going to be surely productive as all get out as well.
Results for class number 4, first place, Carly Stalvey. We'll now be bringing back the first place of each class. They are exhibited by John Haven Stalvey, Ellie Taylor, Colt Harper, and Carly Stalvey.
I think you got that last class right, Judge. I just said the last one.
We'll let you know.
I tell you, as a judge, this is fun to bring all these back in together, and I wish you had a judging team here to see these four right here. You got four really good ones that you could go four different ways, and I think this is just when you get kind of opinionated and you want to just kind of get out there and show you, for me to show you which one I like especially, and it's up to you if you want to agree with it or not, but I think there's four really nice ones here. I got five that I'm going to choose from here today, so we will bring those reserves in. But I think one that really just kind of is going to set the tone for me. I'm just gonna go out there and shake the hand of these right here. But let's give all four of these a big round of applause and job well done right here as well.
Grand champion heifer for 2025 is exhibited by Ellie Taylor. And your reserve grand champion for 2025 heifers is Carly Stalvey. Results for 2025 Berrien County Heifer Show. Your grand champion is Ellie Taylor. The grand reserve is Carly Stalvey. Third place is exhibited by John Haven Stalvey. Colt Harper had the fourth place heifer, and Kendall Harper had the fifth place heifer, Berrien County 2025. We'd like to remind you to come out tomorrow evening at 6 for the buyer's dinner, followed by the steer sale. Again, we'd like to thank our 2025 contributors. Our bronze sponsors are Hearts of Fire, Brown Farms, our Magistrate Judge Doug Gaskins, KJ Feed Supply, Melissa Taylor, Century Dorsey, Clerk of Court Shauna Hughes, and The Big Store. Your silver sponsors for 2025 are Ageless Creations, Barry's Deli, Buck's Auto Repair, Curtis Packing Company, Giggles Cafe, Hometown Pharmacy, your Irwin County Farm Bureau, Parish Land Clearing, Rayleigh Farms, Lee Stallings at State Farm Insurance, and Donna Walker, CPA. Our gold sponsors are Ag Aviators, Brian Sumner Insurance, the Howard Center, Jernigan Farm Service and Supply, Lee Farm Supply, Lovin Funeral Home, the Staines Family, Sheriff Ray Polk, Schools Welding and Repair, Rick's Body Shop, and Ranch Feed. Your platinum sponsors this year are Watson's Pools and Patio, Vickers Farms, Turner County Stockyard, Tucker's Service Station, Towson Cold Storage, Southern Show Supply, Shiloh Pecan, RBJ Farms, Quality Growers Peanut and Gin, Pilgrim's Pride, Nashville Feed and Seed, Morrison Hardware and Building Supply, Magnolia House Furniture, Lennox Peanut, Lassiter Tractor, Lane Air Farming, Greenpoint Ag, Gaskins Grocery, 2WL Farms, Four Corners Gin, Aikens Petroleum, Donna and Vanna Alley, Bank of Alapahaw, Atlas Greenhouses, the Berrien County Board of Commissioners, Bryan Poultry Farm, Cat Creek Livestock, Chaparral Boats, Creek Cattle, Stalvies, D&D Irrigation, Dixon Farm Supply, Dixon Gin, Dixon Seed and Chemical, Drop Tine Unlimited, your Berrien County Farm Bureau, and Farmers and Merchants Bank. Be sure to thank our sponsors. Without them, it'd be almost impossible to do what we do. class number 1 for the steer show. These steers weigh between 980 and 1,030 pounds. These exhibitors are Abigail Griffin and Emily Griffin.
I think a good pair of two right here to go ahead and get started with this steer show. And I like them as they came in, starting with the gray white-faced steer. I think one in this class has just got a ton more body in terms of mass and dimension of this one. He's sound and flexible off either end. I like just how big and square he is there out of his top, how much just center he's got there to him as well, with a lot of punch there to that center and lower rib. I think he's stepping behind this guy right here. He's got a ton of pin width and shape to that lower leg. I'd like to go ahead and give him the start. One right behind him, man, he's super long and extended up front. I love how long and extended he is there, shoulders back. A sound and flexible type steer, but one that just gets super hound gutted here today. I'd like to see a ton more body and dimension there to the center portion and to deepen him a lot there and out of his flank. But I still think one that's pliable and loose there off either end. But a good one to go ahead and come in there in a second.
The results for class number 1. First place is exhibited by Abigail Griffin. Emily Griffin had your second place steer in class number 1. Entering the ring now is class number 2. These exhibitors are Jay Staines, J.C. McMillan, and Anna Luke. These steers weigh between 1,095 and 1,105 pounds.
I think a really good look right here at this class too, and I think a class right here that I wish, man, they were all more secure at the ground. But I really side with this yellow steer right here. That's the combination steer here in the class. I think one that's got a ton of hip and lower leg, one that's got enough middle for me there, especially that lower turn to that rib. I think one that really sits down square. I wish one that would take a bit longer step off those rear two. But I think one that's super in terms of that look, in terms of the show steer, but still having enough to him here today. I think he really turns and puts it all together. I think the one right behind him, I think one that's super big there out of his back, and I like it there right behind his shoulder, just how level and neat he is there. And it kind of splays out just a hair as you get over that loin and back over the top side of that hip. But I think one I'd like to make more secure at the ground, sit down a bit more comfortable there off those rear two, and tweak it just a hair out of those lower angles. But I think one that's coming in a second going to hang a good carcass for that young lady there. And I think in terms of a finish in the steer, you know, I talked with this young lady there in the class. This is kind of more that feed yard looks on this steer, a good Angus type combination steer there that really has a ton of rib, that lower rib. I wish he had more upper rib to him there. I wish we had more foot and bone there at the ground, but I think one that's going to be a good finishing type steer for this young lady in the long run. You put more corn to that one, and that one's going to show you how that one can do when you put him on the rail. But I think a really nice one coming there in the third. I just like to see just a shade more meat animal shape to him here today.
The results for class number 2. First place is Jay Staines. Second place is Anna Luke. And J.C. McMillan is your third place exhibitor. Entering the ring now will be class number 3. This steer weighs in at 1,255 pounds and is exhibited by Hudson Brogdon.
Well, you bring this single entry right here, and I think a good haired fat steer right here especially, you know, one that's got a ton of rib and a lot of shape up high. I think one that's really kind of pushing in terms of, you know, having that extra cover on him there. He, you know, when you put your hands on him in showmanship, he's one of those that really kind of hits you back with a ton of freshness there as a market animal there especially. I'd maybe like to tweak this one off either end in terms of putting those feet down there at the ground real soft and square and fixing him out of that front as he splays out just a hair off the top side of that shoulder and there at the point of the shoulder is where, you know, just make that one just a shade better reaching for me, but I still think a good kind of feet and fat steer for this young man here.
Results for class number 3 is Hudson Brogdon. Class number 4, these steers weigh between 1,400 and 1,450 pounds. They are exhibited by Ellie Taylor, Allie Staines, and Mitz Stalvey.
I'm actually going to leave these as they stand, starting with the black and white steer up front. You know, when we get to this weight, we see ones that are a lot shorter stepping, as these three are exactly here. But I think in terms of that balance and putting it all together, this black and white steer does it for me here today. Guys, you put your hands on him, he reaches back with a ton of freshness. I like just how big and bold he is there on the top side of his skeleton, how pulled apart he is there out of his pin set lower leg, and just how square and sound that one is off either end. I think another one coming here in a second, the red and white steer. One I don't really care for in terms of a look standpoint there from the side in terms of a structure. He's a bit straighter in terms of those off either end, straighter from hock to ground. And one I'd like to fix in terms of his ankles and those joints there at his lower leg. But I think one right here that has a huge back and a huge hip laid into him as well, a ton of center as well there to the center portion of his body. I think you put your hands on him, he's got a huge back and a huge hip. But I think one that I maybe just liked it in terms of that structure, just fix him off either end. Then coming in here in the third one, it's cool there up front. He's high time. He's just real neat there out of his shoulder and that lower knee. But I think one that really kind of pencils off there, off that rear end, he gets a bit plainer there out of his hip and lower leg. And one that gets a bit plainer there on that handle. But one I'd like to freshen up and put a bit more meat animal shape in him on the top side of his skeleton.
Results for class number 4. First place is Ellie Taylor. Second place is exhibited by Allie Staines, and Matt Stalvey had your third place steer. Entering the ring now is class number 5. This steer is exhibited by John Haven Stalvey and weighs at 1,630 pounds.
Yeah, I think a really cool one right here to go ahead and round off the steer show, and I think he is. I don't think you're going to find anything higher than 1,630 right here today. I think one that's super cool there in terms of how high tying and neat necked he is there. So cool and pushed in there at his shoulder, and I like him there out of his knee as well. And shoulders back, he means business. He's big and bold there on the top side of his skeleton. I like his center. Maybe I'd like to see just a shade more lower leg there out of his quarter. But I still think one that's really cool there from the side, shows a lot of meat animal shape, and one that surely gives you that show steer look. Excited to see that one come back in for the drive.
Now we'll be ready for the championship drive for 2025. These exhibitors are Abigail Griffin, Jay Staines, Hudson Brogdon, Ellie Taylor, and John Haven Stalvey.
Well, I tell you, as we kind of get to step back in here and select you 5 for this steer show, I have been utterly impressed in terms of the quality of your kids and your livestock that you brought here today. Even the little goats that we had to start with, the showman there, and then the showman as we get in here to these steers and heifers. Guys and gals, I'm utterly impressed. When I walked in and I see all these banners in terms of who bought your livestock, I think that's awesome. I don't have that back in Alabama in terms of having that county sell. I think the support here has been utterly amazing. When you think of a county show for a judge to come in and look at and sort through, you think of something small, you think of something that maybe come through pretty quick, but guys, the talent here is extremely high, the support here is extremely good, and boy, do y'all sure impress me in terms of the quality through your livestock and through your kids. As a judge, I got a tough job in terms of coming out here and telling you what I like, what I don't like. I was telling the lady up high, she says, you got a tough job. I said, I do. But when you start to kind of realize that, hey, look, this is my opinion and you got to take it or leave it, that's just kind of how it is as a judge. Guys, I don't care if you agree with me. I don't care if you disagree with me. It's my job here to come in here and sort and find you the animals that I like personally. I do hope there's one thing that we can all agree on, is that we serve an awesome, awesome God. That guys put us here today. We're fixing to actually next month, celebrate the resurrection of his life. And I think just, man, it blows me away every day I get to wake up and I get to serve him, I get to honor him, and I get to take in the breath that he breathes into my lungs, right? So I sit here and I tell you here today, I judge all over the country. I judge big shows and small shows. And I will tell every show I go to, I don't care about the show. I care about the opportunity to tell you about Jesus Christ and the friend that he is, the loving God that he is. And man, I tell you, he is the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, the one that, guys, put us here. He put breath in our lungs this morning. He put a life and a path before us. And that path led here today. So how awesome is that we get to celebrate right here for these beautiful animals that he gave us. And I've been chased out to my truck. I've been told I didn't do a good job. It doesn't bother me. I'm a big guy. I can handle myself. But if you want to meet with me after, and I will help you find that intimate relationship with Jesus Christ. That's exactly what I like to talk about. I can talk about these cattle all day long. I can be like that young man from, that junior class that went ahead and won the showmanship there. It sound like an 80-year-old man talking, as a stockyard guy. But man, you get me talking about Jesus and I will not hush. And I think that's how we all need to be. So I encourage you to go out and testify for his name and go out and share the love of Jesus Christ. And like I said, if you don't have that relationship with him, come find me. I'll be more than happy to share about his grace and his love and his mercy. Guys, let's give these kids a big round of applause. They've done absolutely awesome. I'm going to go out and show you the 5 that I like. I hope you agree. But, I surely think it's your best 5 here.
The results for 2025, the 56th annual steer show here in Berrien County. Fifth place is exhibited by Met Stalvey. Allie Staines is your fourth place showman. Third place is exhibited by Jay Staines. Ellie Taylor is your reserve grand champion. And grand champion for 2025 is John Haven Stalvey. Give them all a round of applause. Be sure to thank our contributors, and also be sure to come back tomorrow evening at 6 for the buyer's dinner, and followed by the sale at 7. Thank you, and safe travels to everyone home. How about joining me in a round of applause for our judge, Will Meadows? Oh, whoa, I forgot one thing. We got county grown.
Y'all didn't tell me. Are y'all gonna tell the judge? I don't. Does anybody know we're doing it? Oh, it has? Which two is it? Oh, they're not in the same class. Okay.
Your Berrien County grown steers are exhibited by J.C. McMillan and Hudson Brogdon. These steers weigh 1,100 pounds and 1,255 pounds respectively.
Sorry about that, Judge. Yeah, I don't have no idea. Is this the only two?
Your grand champion county grown steer is Hudson Brogdon and J.C. McMillan. It's a separate exhibitor. Go ahead, Judge. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think two nice ones here to kind of show off your county. You know, I sided with the young man up front. I think one just blows you away in terms of that extra muscle and finish up high. A ton of rib there under the center. And I still think one that's a super good feeding type one in terms of when you look at that cage and when you look at that skeleton on that one. But I think one that maybe just needs a bit more raw meat animal shape for me here today. Thanks again for having me, and hats off to these two here as well.